In the past decade, a subset of brown pelagic macroalgae, Sargassum, has rapidly increased off the coast of Brazil, which is believed to be caused by climate change and deforestation. This accumulation has been carried by ocean currents to many Caribbean beaches, which has raised concern about the economic and ecological impacts of such an influx and what it means for affected areas. These concerns motivated recent research on how the seemingly negative issue can turn into a new opportunity for economic growth. The Turks and Caicos Islands fisheries and tourism industry rely on the health and beauty of its coastal ecosystems. Sargassum can cause an increase in nutrients, a reduction in light, and anoxic environments that have the potential to harm fisheries, which South Caicos specifically relies on. It can also have impacts on human health because, as it decomposes, it emits toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. These fisheries depend on seagrass beds around South Caicos as nursery grounds and habitats for economically important species such as conch and finfish. Seagrass is particularly sensitive to reduced light and oxygen, which can be influenced by sargassum. For these reasons, we focused our coastal assessment of sargassum in South Caicos on the effects it has on seagrasses in the community. Through our research, we want to better understand how sargassum affects seagrass. More broadly, we want to better understand the ways sargassum is affecting South Caicos ecologically and socially, and the possibilities that can come from these algal blooms.
To understand sargassum's effects on seagrass growth and epiphyte load, we designed an experiment to test shading, debris, and their combined effects on seagrass health. We measured the change in shoot density for the 9-week experiment period. 10 individual seagrass shoots were tagged in the beginning and were collected at the end to measure leaf elongation, plaster cone interval, and epiphyte load. Plaster cone interval is the number of days it takes the seagrass to produce a new leaf, and epiphytes are small organisms that live on the seagrass blades, often affecting the amount of light reaching seagrass. To test the effects of sargassum on South Caicos as a whole, 3 snorkeling transects were done in the water to measure the percent seagrass cover of the sites. An informal conversational survey to local community members was used to understand perceptions and experiences with sargassum and opinions of a future sargassum business coming to South. Finally, aspects of all sites were examined to determine what beaches could potentially be used for profitable sargassum harvesting. Looking at South Caicos as a whole, no significant difference was found between the amount of beach sargassum at different sites. There was also no relationship found between sargassum present and living and dead seagrass at the sites. However, throughout the experiment, we found that sargassum does have the potential to affect seagrass growth. It was determined that plaster cone interval was greatly reduced in all sargassum treatments, and seagrass density was affected.
Even though our results do not clearly show that sargassum has had a significant impact on South Caicos' seagrass ecosystems as a whole, there are trends in our data that suggest that there is a potential for sargassum to have more severe impacts in the future. As seen in the experiment, even in a short period of time, sargassum is capable of affecting seagrass growth, which further supports this idea. We have found a difference in the amount of sargassum reaching beaches in spring and fall of 2019. Moving forward, this information could help South Caicos prepare for a sargassum season and be key information for planning a sargassum business. While interest towards such a business was expressed during community surveys, it was suggested that there could be challenges in terms of widespread acceptance of such a business. Responses indicated that this would be more easily accepted if it brought benefits for the whole community, such as an increase in jobs, profit, or agriculture. Due to the site's characteristics, Shark Bay Beach was identified as a potential location for efficient sargassum harvest. While sargassum has been widely affecting countries around the Caribbean, a more widespread understanding of it and its implications is needed to properly assess its economic and ecological impacts.